need to humble yourself. No, you need to humble yourself, because I am humble. Being humble is how I ended up where I'm at now and how I've become so successful today.
Oh, Adrielle. I wasn't going to do any more awareness content. In fact, that's in the new year. I don't think I'm going to do any. It's going to be all positive. But I saw this and I couldn't help it. You say that you are humble because you're where you're at. You need to first and foremost look up the definition of humble, because you are anything but humble.
Adrielle is a train wreck. You want to look away, but you can't help but watch. No, you just like watching me and my children thrive in our 4-story mansion. I would like to watch too. It's a nice view. Anyway, I just ordered groceries. This is another thing they say is very train wreck. Yeah, so train wreck. You know, I think it's train wreck to not be able to afford grocery delivery. She's such a train wreck. She spends so much money on grocery delivery and food delivery. I can't afford it. Okay, if you can, that's not my problem. Watch your own pockets. You know what I mean?
Oh, now. First off, you live in a 4-story mansion. You seem to forget that everybody's seen where you live, and that is not a mansion. At least not what I would consider a mansion. Second of all, you want to talk about humble and how we should worry about our own pockets? You're so humble and you make all this money. How come you don't own your own property? You see, Adrielle, you may live in what you call 4-story mansion, apartment. I own, O-W-N, own my own home. I don't have to pay rent. You insult people because they can't afford to have their groceries delivered? Wow. You see, Adrielle, what you seem to forget is you come on and you have started how many GoFundMes claiming you need the money to move because of your own doings, might I add, and your son's doings. But you were concerned about the money in other people's pockets then, now aren't you? What about when you were on food stamps? You see, when you were on food stamps, the good people of the state of New York was paying your groceries. See, I wasn't, because I live in New Hampshire. But let's just say you were living in New Hampshire when you had food stamps. I would have been paying towards those groceries of yours. Who's humble now? I don't get food stamps. My husband and I actually have to go to a job, J-O-B, not one where we turn our phones on and film ourselves doing absolutely nothing but ridiculous, stupid shit. You want to talk about being able to afford groceries and having them delivered? I can barely afford groceries because I spend $300 to $350 a week on average, and we don't get any assistance. Now, I understand now you don't get assistance, but at one time you did. That's when you become humbled. When you go from having it all to having food stamps, quickly humbles you. Right now, you're in a stage of total ungratefulness. Someone who lives well above her means. Spoiled. Entitled. Flat out frivolously spending away. But you see, Adrielle, words and actions have a way of coming back to haunt you. And I foresee in your future, in the very near future, that you're going to have a very humbling situation. And you're going to lose your 4-bedroom, 4-story apartment mansion and your grocery delivery service. And you're going to be back on food stamps. Mark my words. You see, in the blink of an eye, Adrielle, TikTok could go away. all your income goes away. And I know you think, as you said before, oh, well, if TikTok goes away, I'll just collect unemployment and I'll collect off the $300,000 a year I've been making. Again, another humbling situation because there's a thing called the cap limit, and it's probably around $500 a week. And that's quite a different amount than what you're used to. So I would be very careful about how you're wording things and how you're treating people. You know, like when you go to put your groceries away in your walk-in pantry, guess what? Big deal. Who gives a shit? You see, I used to own a 5-bedroom, that's right, 5-bedroom home. Probably double the size of your apartment. And I had a walk-in pantry. I had a playroom, 5 bedrooms, plus a playroom. Had a huge back area where we could have had laundry, we could have had anything. In fact, I could have turned that into a 2-apartment house. It was so big. And we sold it. And we moved to Vegas because we thought it would be better for us, for my health, and just change of environment. And when we got there, we had a humbling experience. We ended up in an apartment, a very expensive apartment. Nothing wrong with apartments. But we watched our money going away every single month. And my husband couldn't find work for us to be able to get a mortgage. He had to find a job in the same career that he was formerly. You probably wouldn't know anything about that. But anyway, so we decided, after finding out one of my brothers was ill, that we would pack up and move back home. And we bought this. We lost pretty much every piece of furniture we had. We lost over $20,000 in doing all that. It was a humbling experience because we learned not to take life for granted. And we also learned not to make stupid, irrational decisions ever again. So, I hope you see this and you actually listen to what I say, because I'm telling you, very soon, very, very soon, hopefully next month, actually a few weeks away, you will get that very humbling experience when your check stops from TikTok. And then you have to move again. And the last thing I want to say is, you're bitching about having to wrap your kids' Christmas gifts and how you don't want to do it anymore because you're sick and this and that. Well, Adrielle, I didn't want to wrap either. And yeah, I bitched and moaned through it. But guess what? I worked all day at not one, but 2 of my jobs. 2. And then I came home, watched a movie with my children, and then I wrapped. And you say, my kids have everything that they want. I don't need to do Christmas. Well, then maybe you should stop raising your children to be entitled. Because what are you going to do when the money stops rolling in and you can't give them those iPhones and those expensive sneakers and everything that they want? Because believe me, if you're raising them to expect it, they're going to expect it. And if mama can't give it, guess what? Merry Christmas, Adrielle. I hope the new year brings you a very humbling experience. God bless everyone, even you.